Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Ruggiero, Vice President of Communications for Quilts Incorporated. And here we have another in our series of interviews with this year's Big Festival Judge Show winners. And right here, I've got with me Judy Crotts. Judy won the Janome Master Award for Innovative Artistry, sponsored by Janome, for her quilt, Those Darn Boys. And you can see a little of that behind me right here. So what Judy says in her artist statement here is, watch out, boys. There's a powerful girl in the house. Besides working with children's delightful faces in many different colors and fabrics, I experimented with using a single fabric in their clothing. I cut the fabric and rearranged it to give the effect of movement. The use of tulle for shading completed the overall effect, and this is an original design. So welcome, Judy.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's go back in the quilting time machine here, and tell me how you first got interested in quilting, and then how you got involved in making your own quilts.
I started sewing clothes as a teenager, making my own clothes, and then I went on to be making my daughter's clothes, and I stayed in that world for a while. And then I dabbled in quilting. I tried a few quilts, and then once I retired, I really jumped into it. Making a lot of quilts, but I made quilts and made quilts, and I thought I can only make so many quilts. And I saw advertisement for a conference or workshop at Empty Spools at Asilomar in California, and choose from a variety of instructors. So I chose Kathy McNeil, who does art quilts, and I took a class from her, and I was hooked. That was it. This is what I love to do. And that was probably in 2011, 2012. So maybe 10 years
Wow.
ago.
So fairly recently. So what did your friends and family think when this kind of illness and addiction took you over you?
I think they thought, oh, now what am I going to do with all these art quilts? So I have quite a few, but it has turned into a passion, and I really, really love doing what I'm doing.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about Those Darn Boys, which is behind me here, and how you designed it and your inspiration for it, and take us along that kind of creative journey for you.
Okay. Recently, I've been really enamored with Visa Butler and her work, contemporary quilt artist who use African-American subjects, her use of color, her use of patterns, how she mixes patterns. Growing up, if I had shown up with a plaid skirt and polka dot blouse, my mother would have had a heart attack. So, mixing patterns and things like that is not something that I was really familiar with. So I was really drawn in by her work. And then I had this photo of these three charming Black children, and their faces spoke to me from the photo. They were having a great day, but boys would be boys. And they were all day long, they were kind of palling around and making everyone know that they're pals. And the little girl Ivory on the other side was kind of left out. So when I had this picture, her expression just really spoke to me. So when I was looking for a subject for the quilt, I saw their clothes, chance for me to experiment with that. Faces were what I typically do. I typically work with small pieces of fabric to depict an area of the face or something that I want to show, not taking a whole piece of fabric and making a jacket or a shirt.
Right.
Look.
And where did you first see the photo?
The photo was one I had taken several years
When you were
ago.
taken, okay.
When the kids were out playing one day. So it was a photo I had taken.
That's great. So have any of the kids in the quilt actually seen it yet?
Well, of course, my grandson has. The other two kids haven't, but their mothers have. So, so I had to ask permission from them. Is it okay if I I put your kids on a quilt. Little did I know that it would be seen as much as it's going to be seen, though.
Well, maybe we can gather them all together at the show and have them kind of pose in front of it. I
Oh,
don't
there you go.
know. Well, now that this is completed, tell me kind of what you're working on now or working on next.
What am I working on next? I belong to a art quilt guild in Southern California, Quilts on the Wall, and they have several challenges during the year. So I'm just completing a challenge called African Beauty. And so I'm working on a Serengeti sunset. So I'm working on sky and some silhouetted animals, and we'll see where it goes from
Well,
there.
it sounds to me like you can take a trip and put it down as a business expense on your taxes. I mean,
Hey,
you
that's
are,
an idea.
researching. So
Yes, there's an idea.
well, Judy, the last question is something I ask everybody, and going through your experience as a quilter, if you could have one quilting superpower, what would it be and why?
A quilting superpower. Goodness. I'm pretty much when it comes to my art quilts, a perfectionist. And so if I've done some quilting I don't like, I will take it out. And other people will go, "Oh my God, you can't take all that out." I'm like, "Yeah, I can." And I'll take it out. Or if I have fabric in a place and it's just not working for me, I will go back and redo it. So what I would like is to have computer superpowers and hit delete, or that little circle at the top where you can keep hitting it and it will go back. It'll take one layer off at a time. So I could hit delete and then not have to take all that out and go back and start over again.
Well,
That would be good.
that would be a rare superpower to have. So
Yeah.
good luck in finding that. Maybe a
Yeah,
lightning
thanks.
bolt, lightning bolt needs to hit you, a radioactive spider bite you, something like that along the lines.
In the meantime, I will use my seam ripper.
Okay. Well, Judy, thank you so much for taking out the time. Again, Judy Crotts won the Janome Master Award for Innovative Artistry for her quilt behind me, Those Darn Boys. You can see it and all the winners at the Festival Judge Show November 2nd through 5th at International Quilt Festival in Houston. So, Judy, again, thank you for taking out the time.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it.